You know today's video is brought to you by KaseyGolden.com. That's right, my very own merch website. Today I am featuring these adorable tote bags. That's right, I painted some tote bags a few weeks ago. You guys love them, so I actually printed some tote bags. We have the adorable Crybaby Cloud, and this today's mood bag where you can put your own enamel pin face on here to represent your mood. Mix and match from a variety of eyeballs and a variety of mouths to create your mood of the day. Not to mention prints and stickers and all sorts of other things. Check it out, KaseyGolden.com. In today's video, we're going to be comparing blue, red, and yellow to cyan, magenta, and primary yellow. And to be honest, neither of these are wrong. There are primary colors for things like printing and painting, and there's also primary colors for things like light and how we perceive color. So let's get to swatching both of these sets of primary colors and create a piece using both sets. So I've made this handy swatching chart to swatch both the red, yellow, and blue and the cyan, magenta, yellow, and ignore the fact that I put K for black. I'm just used to the whole printer situation. We'll just bring in our palette here and let's do it. So now that we have both of our primary sets swatched, I'm actually quite surprised by the results. The same way I was really surprised by how dark especially the magenta is. Though we do have a very basic green that came out of this set, and the purple is a lot more purple. This purple is very dark. That being said, we are going to make an illustration with both our red, blue, and yellow and our cyan, magenta, and yellow. We've done our swatches. I'm sort of getting inspired by our earthy and our more, well, I don't know. I mean, the red is more earthy than the magenta. I'm kind of confused. I don't know. Maybe it's just the medium. Either way, let's get into it. Into this illustration, I really wasn't sure what I wanted to draw, but I knew that I wanted to create two separate pieces that really showed off the colors of the red, yellow, and blue compared to the cyan, magenta, and yellow. Originally, I did some sketches and I came up with two separate characters that were on two separate pieces of paper, and although that was a good idea, it was very cute and I was very confident that I could color in these characters using both of these color palettes. I thought it would be more interesting if I created two characters on the same page, but split the page down the middle and used only the red, yellow, and blue on the left side and only the cyan, magenta, and yellow on the right side. That's when I came up with the idea of these two characters that are sort of touching hands in the middle, almost as if there's a barrier between the two, like there's something keeping them apart. Maybe they're in two separate worlds. Heck, maybe they're touching a mirror and they don't even see anything on the other side, but they can feel each other. This is a very mysterious illustration and I just love the concept, especially using these very similar yet very different color palettes on both sides. So I did some doodles, I penciled out the illustration, and I fell in love with this piece. Two very separate characters using two very separate yet similar color palettes. The sketch was cute, the pencil was cute, and I was ready to get into this piece. Now, I was very intimidated by this piece. I just really wasn't sure what I wanted to do when it came to the approach of coloring this piece. I really wanted to focus on the primary colors, and I did want to use a lot of the primary colors fresh out of the tube. I didn't want to manipulate them too much, but on the other hand, I did want to show that you can get pretty much any color just using the primary colors. Now, I will say I did include primary black and primary white into these illustrations because the tubes were literally called primary white and primary black. So I figured, you know what? It's fair game. I'm going to use them. So like I said, the basic concept of this illustration is two different characters on either side of this piece of paper, or rather illustration board. I went ahead and taped it right down the center because I thought that would make for a much cleaner and easier way to especially create the bubbles. I didn't want to paint anything super complex for the background because I really wanted to focus on these pure primary colors. So I thought it'd be really cute to just put some pops and bubbles of color in the background that were overlapping and creating secondary colors. It's super colorful, it's super cute, and it also assisted in creating the white shirts of our characters, which I thought was super clever. So I started off by coloring the bubbles in the background, and I got started off with our character. Like I said, you can create literally any color with the primary colors. A lot of people ask me what colors or just basically where they should start with a new art supply, whether it be watercolor, gouache paints. And you know what? The answer is just buy the primary colors. If you don't know where to start and you just want to try a new art supply, just buy the primary colors. You can create any color with them. You don't have to break your bank buying an 18 or 24 color set, and you're good to go. Just try out a few tubes, try out a few pens. Do you like them? Do you not like them? Great. You didn't spend $1,000. I will say creating a skin tone was a little challenging just because I am used to having a bajillion colors and just mixing from, like I mentioned, a 24 color set, but I did have the knowledge of creating a skin tone from scratch. So even though it was challenging, I was really happy with what I got. It looks so good. I gave her a little bit of blush, kept her clothes in the primary colors because I just was really enjoying these bright, colorful colors. Threw in some color in the hair, which I don't know if you noticed in the sketch, I did originally plan for her hair to be just the circles of color, but I decided that they would blend too much into the background, which was going to be literally that. So I turned her hair into hair and then threw in some stripes of color, which is so much fun. And then also threw in some black texture on top of the color just so it wasn't these pure strips of color that made no sense. Such a simple technique. I love it. And oh my god, she is so cute. Look at this character. I love her. She's adorable. I peeled the tape off, revealing a very smooth and nice edge on our circles, and it was time to start our CMY character. Once I had practice with the red, yellow, and blue, I was pretty confident in using the CMY. Now I will say, I don't know why this is, but even when I swatched, I found that the CMY paints were not as opaque as the red, yellow, and blue paints. I don't know why, I don't know if it's the certain pigments they use, but basically when I painted the first painting, I only needed 1, maybe 2 layers of paint to cover up the paper and get a nice flat paint. When it came to the CMY, I had to put down 2 to like 4 or 5 layers of paint to make it look nice and flat. It was kind of a pain, and I gotta say, CMY, I don't like you because of this. That being said, I love this illustration. Both parts are super adorable. They're super colorful. They're super cute. For our CMY character, I wanted to do something similar to our previous RYB character. I wanted to focus on, like I said, the basic out of the tube colors for the outfit and really focus on sort of mixing colors for any other aspect. I'm talking, well, I guess it's just skin and hair, honestly. Creating a lighter skin tone was somehow much more difficult than creating a darker skin tone when it came to these colors. Usually I struggle the opposite way. I don't know what it is, but the light skin tone was definitely more of a struggle this time. I added just a little bit of magenta to the yellow to create a sort of dirty blonde hair color, and I kind of went crazy with the accessories. I'm talking rainbow bracelets, rainbow stripes in the hair, and a little bubble tie in the hair that overlaps, creating the secondary colors. Super cute. Just simple little accessories here and there that are a nod to using the primary colors. And that's our character design. Super simple, as usual. And I think working in this quote-unquote limited color palette, I say quote-unquote because you do have 3 colors, but those 3 colors turn into 6, and then those 6 colors turn into more colors, so I did end up with a lot of colors in this illustration, but my focus was the primary colors. Now also, I will mention, I know that you can make an actual red color using magenta and yellow. However, I thought it would be cuter if I used magenta straight out of the tube to be the red counterpart when it came to the bubbles in the background and the clothes. So even though maybe it's not quite true to the sort of mirroring of colors, I thought it would be really cute to just use the tubes straight out, just because that's kind of how I felt about these 2 palettes. You're using these 3 colors straight out of the tube, so I thought, you know, that's what we're gonna go with. It was close enough, I think. The magenta, I will say, was quite dark when I swatched them. I was a little surprised by that, especially because the tube looks a lot brighter. So there is an importance to always swatching your art supplies. You can't trust what the marker cap or the tube or what the art supply looks like. You gotta swatch your colors because it's going to look different. Otherwise, I had a lot of fun with this challenge. Look how many colors we got. We got skin tones, we got shades, we got blushes. We got every single color in the rainbow just by using 3 colors. So if you ever feel like you don't have enough colors, you haven't completed the set of your art supplies, you feel like you need more art supplies, at least when it comes to paint, you really don't need that many. In fact, you just need 3 colors and you can create literally anything. I seriously made that skin tone out of white, yellow, and a little bit of magenta / red if you're using the red, yellow, blue. Okay, I'll admit, I put a very tiny bit of blue or cyan just to add that sort of purpley tint to the skin. Otherwise, look at these characters. They're super adorable, they're super colorful, and I had a lot of fun with this challenge. Using a limited color palette, especially when you can mix literally any color ever, is super fun. It's super colorful, and I would highly recommend it. Now I have to ask, should I do this with watercolor? Because now I'm super tempted. Once again, thank you so much to the sponsor of our video, KaseyGolden.com. What? Thank you all so much for the support in my shop, and thank you so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys in the next one. But before I go, I want to give a huge thank you to my patrons. You guys are the best. You guys support me every month. If you want early access to my videos, secret sketches, coloring pages, and live streams, check out my Patreon. The link is in the description. Thank you guys all so much for your support. See you next time. Bye.